I'm going to share with you a few of my favorite automations that I've made for a variety of different businesses that really help accomplish one of two things. Either A, streamlining your operations and removing manual tasks, and B, helping to automate the customer acquisition process. So let's dive into some of these and what they look like. 9 of them to share with you today. I'll go through them fairly quickly. This one here is actually a just an automated posting one. So we pull the information from an Airtable that we set up, and from there, based on if it's a LinkedIn user post or if it's for a LinkedIn page or a Facebook page, Instagram for business blogger, and we're continuing to build these out based on the client needs and repurposing those content as well, which I'll show you in a later one. But this is a great one to centralize your content posting in a simple way and be able to work through that content using an Airtable, essentially. This one here is actually a very complex operational one. So this is taking information from an online booking system. It's actually sending a Slack message to say, hey, you got an online booking. This is great. Just be aware. Then we actually go through and format it because sometimes one program has the data a certain way and you need it in a different way for another program. So we actually format it quite a bit and then split it into different paths based on, in this case, locations and areas and technicians. And then it basically puts it into the appointment and operational software that this company uses. The next one is another robust one, slightly different. This is actually catching a webhook. Webhook is just a way for APIs to trigger something to send that information into another program. And it's basically saying, hey, let's watch if any appointments are created, updated, or deleted. And if so, we got to make sure that the programs are talking together and then that gets deleted in the other program as well. And in this case, the central database is more of a Google Calendar. So based on that, it's saying, okay, create the detailed event, find it, and then update it or delete it. And we've set that up for the variety of different schedules that are impacted for this company. This one is a fairly straightforward one, but it's actually super handy because this gives a way for everybody in the company to send a Slack message with a receipt or an expense. And then that's going to upload that to a Google Drive, create the Google spreadsheet row with the link to the Google Drive as well. And then it's actually going to email that receipt to QuickBooks, which then goes into the QuickBooks receipts category for the bookkeepers to work with. So this was a really handy way to take a lot of those paper receipts and then just digitize them and streamline them getting into the actual accounting software. This one here, this is a fantastic one. So it's very simple. It's only 2 steps, but it saves you thousands and thousands of dollars of missed opportunity. This one here is called a short call follow-up text. So it basically says, hey, if we got an inbound call that was less than 1 minute, that doesn't sound right. Who calls and talks to a business for less than 1 minute? Usually they have questions. Maybe they didn't get through to somebody. Maybe somebody didn't answer, whatever the case is. So in that case, it immediately sends a follow-up text and basically says, hey, we missed your call, or we noticed that you called us. We wanted to make sure that you were taken care of. Here's how you can get in touch with us. Book online, email us, gives them different options if they weren't satisfied by the phone. And this one automation has generated tens of thousands of dollars in business for this company. Let's dive into the next one. This one here is actually on the sales side. This is a B2B sales creation system. So this is basically saying, hey, when we grab these leads, and in this case, they're coming from a program called ZoomInfo, which is great for B2B leads. It's going to delay, then it's going to set them their marketing contact status. And then we're going to come in here and based on the information that we have, because sometimes you don't have all their information. Sometimes you have an email or a phone number or a mobile phone number or whatever. So it's going to say, hey, based on what we've got, let's send them down a certain flow to make sure we can contact them in the right way. So from there, it's going to send text messages. We've got them going into other static lists, which then trigger further automations and different touch points with them. This also adds them to other workflows. So basically, that's saying this workflow then feeds into another automated workflow. And that's really handy as well based on the information that you have. So this is a great B2B sales workflow that has brought on some massive clients for this company. The next one is an actual campaign to get bookings. I think there was like 40 to 60,000 contacts that went through this, and it generated hundreds of thousands of dollars in business. And basically, this is a list that's created, and we keep cloning it for different years. So you'll see like this is an older one, and it's cloned, and it keeps getting cloned for each year. So 23, 24, 25. And based on the information known, it'll basically send a text message and then send an email, and then it's going to wait. And then what we've done here is we've said, hey, let's not contact people too much, right? We don't want to contact them. So we're going to wait. We're going to give them 6 days. And then from there, we're going to say, hey, was there any activity? Did they call, email, or message us to book? Is there a call duration that's greater than 2 minutes, or activity, and the activity date is less than 30 days ago? So this means, have they called us and did they talk to us in the past 30 days, right? And the call outcome had to be connected. So if they didn't connect, then we might hit them again to make sure that they're in a booking. And then it says, or there's an activity type. It's a conversation, a note, an SMS, because sometimes notes can be other things that happen in the system, and all within the last 30 days. Did they visit a thank you page, meaning they booked, or did they fill in a form? So this is a great way to make sure that if they did contact us, we're saying, yep, they booked, right? And we're taking them out of this flow that ends right here, and they're not going to get contacted any further, right? But if they haven't done that yet, then it's going to say, hey, have you booked? It's going to send them another email. It's going to wait. It's going to check again. And then we're going to do one last time where we send them a text message and an email. And then that way, at the end of it, we say, yeah, they booked, or no, they didn't. And we put them on that list so that we keep that data for later. And this happens in a variety of different ways based on what information that we have for them. So this is a great automated flow that can generate a huge amount of business because you're telling people the right things at the right time. And then if they have contacted you, you're taking them out of that loop so that you're not bugging them too much. All right, we're down to the last two here. So this is a very simple one that a spa needed. So in this case, this spa was not open on Sundays and Mondays. And they wanted to say, hey, we don't want to leave our clients hanging. So any emails that come into our Gmail on Sundays and Mondays, so there's a timer here, we're going to actually respond to them immediately. So that email comes in, we send it over to an AI agent with very specific instructions that has been trained on the business, and it's going to formulate a response to get back to that client saying, hey, do you want to book? Here's a link you can book, or answers the questions about pricing and availability. But you can even feed it information from other systems. And then it's going to send an email. It's going to craft that and then send that email back to them within a couple minutes. So that client sent an email, they're getting an email back with specified answers. It's responding to their name and giving them the exact information that they want rather than having to wait around for a human answer once the business opens again. Last but not least, this is a really interesting one that we continue to build out both internally and for clients, where it's a content repurposing or content transformation automation. So this basically is triggered from an Airtable. So in a different program, you say, hey, I really like this Instagram post, but I want to repurpose it for LinkedIn or for Facebook or for a blog or whatever the case is. So this is going to come in here, and based on what you said it was for in that other program, it's going to come into an AI agent. It's going to give that very specific instructions that we've trained it on. And then it's going to create that content and then either add it back to the database to be ready to post in one of these other automations, or it's going to go through an iterator process and create images and then put them all together. And there's different things that we have going on in here based on the type of content. So those are a few of my favorite automations to use for your business to streamline your operations or your marketing and sales functions. And if you use them right, automations can save you tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars in a year, and help you generate some really meaningful revenue as well. If you have any further questions about automations that you want to do in your business, then get in touch with our team and we'll be happy to take a look and see what can be done for your company.